your sermon last Sunday. It really was wonderful, Dr. Harper. In only 2 short years, you've taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
It's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, as we always say, is friendliness, and your sermons are not so much sermons as friendly talks.
Personally, I have always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
No, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Billy!
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh no, I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
Oh, but you haven't tried the coins. We always put a little apple with it to take the tartness out.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
No, you keep it here so I can be sure of having your biscuits with it.
I do hope they don't make us use that imitation flour again. I mean, with this war trouble, it may not be very charitable of me, but I've almost come to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
Well, you're over on another planet.
Europe, sir!
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way!
Gun?
Teddy.
To the west! There's your enemy! There's your danger! Japan!
Why, yes, of course.
Teddy.
No, Aunt Abby, not so much talk about Europe and more about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about war. Won't you have another cup of tea, dear?
No, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I must admit, Miss Abby, that war and bonds seem far removed from this house.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day. They're all here in this house. The peaceful virtues that went out with candlelight, and good manners, and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built it and furnished it. Except for the electricity, and we used as little as possible. It was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I can understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems to live only by electric light.
I understand it's Elaine he's taking to the theater with him tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer, will be here a little later.
Delightful!
We're so happy it's Elaine Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
We'd feel so guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I, since it was here in our home your daughter met Mortimer.
of course, Miss Abby, and I will say so immediately that I do believe your nephew Mortimer to be quite a worthy gentleman. But I must also admit that I've been watching the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation. For one reason, Miss Abby.
You mean his stomach, Dr. Harper?
Stomach?
Oh, his dyspepsia. He's so bothered with it, poor boy.
No, Miss Abby, I'll be frank with you. I'm speaking of your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater.
Oh, the theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know. But a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater, and I don't doubt that some of them do develop an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. You need no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes, he writes awful things about the theater. But you can't blame him, poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about, but then they just made him take this terrible night position.
My.
But as he says, the theater won't last much longer anyways, and in the meantime, it's a living. Perhaps if we give the theater another year or two. Well, who do you suppose that is? Oh, no, thank you, Teddy. I'll go. Oh, hello, Mr. Brophy.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Mr. Klein?
Oh, I'm very well, Miss Brewster.
What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid! Thank you, gentlemen. At ease.
You know Dr. Harper.
Oh, sure. Hello, Dr. Harper. We've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
That's a splendid work you men do. Fixing up discarded toys to give poor children a happier Christmas.
It gives us something to do when we're just sitting around the station all day. You get tired of playing cards, and, well, then you start cleaning your gun, and the next thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box around Martha's room. How is Miss Brophy? Miss Brophy has been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
Charge!
She's doing better now. A little weak still.
I'm going to get you some beef broth to take to her.
Oh, don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her already.
We made it this morning. Sister Martha's just taking some to poor Mr. Braninsky right now. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
She shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, try to stop her or her sister from doing something nice, and for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I received my call to Brooklyn to move next door, my wife wasn't well. When she died 4 months before, well, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that.
But I have to call a cabinet meeting to get the release of those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Oh, he's quite harmless.
Suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There are a lot worse people you think he was.
Darn shame. Nice family like this, hatching a cuckoo.
Well, their father, the old girl's brother, was some sort of genius, was he? And their father, Teddy's grandpa, seems to me I've heard a little crazy too.
Yeah, he was crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used his house here as sort of a clinic. Tried him out on people.
Yeah, I hear he's doing mistakes occasionally too.
The department never bothered him because he was pretty useful on autopsies sometimes, especially poison cases.
But whatever he did, he set his dodgers up for life. Thank God for that.
Not that they'd ever spend any of it on themselves.
Yes, I'm well acquainted with their charities.
You don't know a tenth of it. When I was in the Missing Persons Bureau, we were trying to trace this old man. We never could find him. Did you know that there's a renting agency that has this house listed for furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms, but you can bet that anyone who comes in here looking to rent a room comes out with a good meal and probably a few dollars in their kick.
It's just their way of digging up people to do some good to.
Oh, well now, isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Brophy? Dr. Harper, Klein?
How are you, Miss Brewster? We dropped in to get the Christmas toys.
Yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. Well, they were out. They should be all packed.
The colonel's upstairs after them. It seems the cabinet has to okay it.
Yes, of course, and I hope Mrs. Brophy's better.
She's doing fine, ma'am. Your sister's getting me some soup to take to her.
Yes, we made it this morning. I just took it to an old man who broke over so many bones.
Oh, you're back, Martha. How is Mr. Belinsky?
It's pretty serious, I'm afraid, dear. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate in the morning.
Oh, can you be present?
No, I asked him, but he said it's against the rules of the hospital.
You couldn't be of any service, and you must spare yourself something.
Here's the broth, Mr. Brophy. Be sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am.
This is fine. It'll make a lot of kids happy. Adam Molly boys, and that's about soldiers.
It's General Miles. I retired him. What's this? The organ? Oh, Teddy, dear, put it back. But the organ goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
No, I've given my word to fighting Bob Evans. Oh, but Teddy.
What difference what kid gets it? Bobby Evans? Is he Cohen? We'll run along, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Not at all. Goodbye.
I must be getting home.
Oh, before you go, Dr. Harper.
Charge! All the stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
Oh, he's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Once, a long time ago, remember Martha, we thought if he would be George Washington, it might be a change for him.
Oh, but he's been under his bed for days. He just wouldn't be anybody.
And we'd so rather him be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and what's more important, you're happy, you'll see that he signs these.
What are they?
Dr. Harper has arranged for Teddy to go to Happy Death Sanitarium after we pass on.
Oh, but why must Teddy sign any papers now?
It's better to have it all settled. If the Lord must take you away suddenly, perhaps you can persuade him to commit himself. And that would be an unpleasant legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon understands they're to be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon, who's he?
He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Dr. Harper has arranged for him to drop in tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
I'd better be running along or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
Give our love to Elaine, and Dr. Harper, please don't think harshly of Mortimer because he's a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do those things.
Didn't you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, and dinner's going to be late too.
So, why?
Oh, Teddy, good news for you. You're going to Panama to dig another lot.
Bully! That's just bully. Well, I shall prepare for the journey at once. Abby, while
Well, I didn't know when you'd be back, and Dr. Harper was coming.
Oh, but all by yourself?
Oh, I got along fine.
Well, I'll just run downstairs and see.
Well, there was no time, and I was all alone.
Well?
Oh, Martha, just look at the window seat. Oh, Elaine, come in, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here.
Oh, he just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
No, I took a shortcut to the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet.
No, dear.
Oh, he asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all.
Why don't you sit down, dear?
But we must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Oh, well, Mortimer was brought up to know better. When a gentleman wants to take a young lady out, you should call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
Well, he's done this too often. We're going to speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After young men whose idea of nightlife was taking me to prayer meeting, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Oh, and it's comforting for us too. Why, if Mortimer has to go to those plays, he must see. At least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Oh, my goodness, Elaine, what must he feel? Think of us not having tea cleared away by this time.
Oh, and don't you bother with anything in the kitchen until Mortimer comes, then I'll help you. Mortimer should be here any minute now.
Oh, Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I'd better run over and say goodnight to him.
That's a shame you missed him, dear.
If Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back. Hello, Mort.
Oh, hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Abby, Mortimer's here.
Were you going somewhere?
Oh, I was about to run over and tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
I didn't know that was still being done even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you, dear?
Oh, I'm doing all right. And you look well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Oh, it was yesterday, wasn't it? I've been seeing a great deal of you lately. Well, come, sit down, sit down.
Abby, having me something to do in the kitchen.
Huh?
You know, tea things.
Oh, yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home. Just
Make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
I don't care, I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show.
That'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Oh, not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I hear, we'll be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You ought to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
Oh, darling, the musical isn't opening tonight.
No.
You'll have to learn the rules. With every show, there's at least 4 postponements and 3 changes of title. They liked it in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
Oh, well, I was hoping it was a musical.
You've such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we joined the proletariat in a subway and I listened to a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you bring me home a taxi and you make a few passes.
Now, darling, that's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Now I will admit that after the Berman play, you told me I had authentic beauty, which is a heck of a thing to say to a girl. It wasn't until after our first musical that you told me I had nice legs, and I have too.
I'll never be able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not speaking too articulate, are you?
No, the only way I can regain my self-respect is if I keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
Oh, no, I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
Well, I can afford being a good girl for quite a few years yet.
Oh, I can't afford to wait that long. Where could we be married in a hurry? Say tonight.
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh, I'm sure your father could even make the marriage service sound pedestrian.
You and by any chance be writing a review of it?
Oh, you'll forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. All right, everything formal and legal, but no less than next month.
Oh, darling, I'll talk it over with Father and we'll set the date.
Oh, no, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal then. There'll be a lot of other first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer.
Oh, how are you, Mr. President?
Bully, thank you. Just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President. The country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama!
Ah, yes, Panama. He digs locks for the cellar down there.
Well, you're very sweet with him and he's very fond of you.
Well, Teddy always was my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
Well, there was another brother, Jonathan.
Oh, I've never heard of him. Your aunt's never spoke of him before.
Oh, no, we don't really like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn very early by request. He was the kind of boy who liked to cut worms in 2 with his teeth.
What became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather, but he wouldn't go to medical school first, and his practice got him into trouble.
Oh, aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
Oh no, we're skipping dinner. We won't have to start for another half an hour.
Oh, then I'll leave you two alone together again.
Oh, don't bother, darling. I have to run over to speak to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a bit. I'll be right back. I'll cut to the cemetery.
Now, if the prayer isn't so long, dear, I'd have time to lead you beside distilled water.
Oh, Mortimer, that's the first time I've ever heard you quote the Bible. We know it would be a good influence for you.
I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling! Martha, come right in here! I have the most wonderful news! Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married!
Married? Oh, Mortimer.
Oh, we hoped it would happen just like this.
Well, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Well, just look at her leaping over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
What's what, dear?
Well, you see that statue there? That's a Horndididicardia.
Oh, no, dear. That's Emma B. Stout ascending to heaven.
No, standing on Mrs. Stout's left ear. That bird's a red-crested swallow. I've only ever seen one of those before in my life.
I don't know how I can be thinking about a bird right now, but with Elaine and the engagement and everything.
Oh, it's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. Oh, by the way, I left a large envelope around here. It was one of the chapters of my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, dear, if you left it here, it must be somewhere.
What are your plans? When are you going to be married? There must be something more you can tell us about Elaine.
Elaine? Oh, yes, Elaine thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Well, I think when Elaine gets back, we ought to have a celebration. We must drink to your happiness. Martha, is there some of that Lady Baltimore cake left?
Oh, yes.
And I'll open a bottle of wine.
Oh, to think it happened in this very room.
I've put that.
Well, with your fiancé by your side tonight, I do hope the play will be something you can enjoy for once. Maybe it'll be romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear.
When the curtain goes up, the first thing you'll see is a dead body. And Abby!
Yes, dear?
You were going to make plans for Teddy to go to that sanitarium. Happydale?
Oh, yes, dear. Dr. Harper was here this morning and dropped off the papers for Teddy to sign.
Yes, he has to sign them right away.
That's what Dr. Harper thinks, since there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
Teddy has to sign them this minute. He's down in the cellar. Get him up here right away.
Oh, there's no such hurry as that.
Oh, no, when Teddy starts work on the canal, he can't get his mind on anything.
No, Teddy has to go to Happydale now, tonight.
Oh, no, dear, that's not until after we're gone.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
Look, listen, darlings, I'm frightfully sorry, but I have some shocking news. Well, we've all got to try and keep our heads, you know. We've always sort of humored Teddy because we believed he was harmless.
But he is harmless.
Well, he was harmless. That's why he's got to go to Happydale. Why he has to be confined.
Dear Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy, your own brother?
Look, you two have to know sometime. It might as well be now. Teddy's killed a man.
Nonsense, dear.
Well, there's a body here in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Of course, dear, but it has nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, Mortimer, forget about it. Forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget?
We'd never dream you'd peek.
Who is he?
His name's Hoskins, Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him, except that he's a Methodist.
That's all you know about him? What happened to him? How did he get here?
He died.
Aunt Martha, men don't just crawl into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
Well, how?
Oh, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The man died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
How did the poison get in the wine?
Oh, well, we put it in the wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in there?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So you knew what you'd done. You didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.
Well, not at tea. That wouldn't have been very nice. Now, Mortimer, forget about it. I do think Martha and I have a right to our own little secrets.
Oh, and don't you tell Elaine. Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped in on Mrs. Schultz. Well, she's doing much better now, but I think she wants us to take Junior to the movies again.
Well, we should do that tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, but this time we will go where we want to go. I would not let Junior drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Yes, hello? City desk. Hello, Al. Do you know who this is? Oh, that's right. Say, Al, when I left the office, I told you where I was going. Well, where did I say? Oh. Well, it would take me about 30 minutes to get to Brooklyn. What time have you got? Oh, that's right. Oh, I must be here. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
Well, there's a man in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Well, good heavens, I can't turn you over to the police. Oh, but what are we going to do?
Oh, for one, dear, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget about the whole thing.
Forget, my dear Aunt Abby. Can't I make you realize that something must be done?
Now, Mortimer, you behave yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like this.
But Mr. Hotchkiss!
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, you can't just leave him there.
Oh, we don't intend to, dear.
No, Teddy's down in the cellar digging the lock.
You mean you're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar?
Of course we are, dear. That's what we did with the others.
No, you can't. Others?
The other gentlemen.
By others, do you mean like others? More than one others?
Yes, this is 11. Isn't it, Abby?
No, dear, this speaks 12.
Oh, no, dear. I think you're wrong. This is only 11.
Oh, no, because I remember when Mr. Hoskins first came, it occurred to me it would make just an even dozen.
Oh, you really shouldn't count the first one.
Oh, but I was counting the first one. So this makes 12.
Hello? Oh. Hello? Oh, hello, Al. Oh, yes, it's good to hear your voice. Oh, no, Al, I'm sober as a lark. I called you because I was feeling a little parentello. Well, no, he wouldn't know it. Look, Al, no, I'm glad you called. Yes, you have to get a hold of George. Well, he's got to cover the show tonight. No, I can't make it. No, Al, you're wrong. I'll tell you about it tomorrow, but... Well, George has got to cover the play tonight. Look, this is my department and I'm running it. You get a hold of George. All right, now where were we? 12!
Yes, Abby thinks we should count the first one, which would make it 12.
Okay, all right. Now, who was the first one?
Mr. Midget, he was a Baptist.
Although I don't think we can claim full credit for him because he just died.
Martha means without any help from us, you see. Mr. Midgley came here looking for a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
It didn't seem right for that lovely room to go to waste when there were so many people who needed it.
Well, he was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were dead and it left him so forlorn and unhappy.
Well, we felt sorry for him.
And when his heart attack came, he sat dead in that chair, looking so peaceful. Oh, remember, Martha, we made up our minds then and there that if we could help other lonely men find that peace, we would.
He dropped dead right in that chair? How awful for you.
Oh, no, dear. It was quite like old times. You know that your grandfather would always have a cadaver or two laying around the house. Well, Teddy was down in Panama digging the lock, and he thought Mr. Mitchell was a yellow fever victim.
Which meant he had to be buried immediately.
So we all went down to Panama and put him in the lock, and dear, that's why we tell you not to worry, because we know it's exactly to be done.
Okay, so that's how this all started. A man walking in here and dropping dead.
Well, of course we realized we couldn't rely on that happening again, so...
You know the jars of poison on the shelves in your grandfather's laboratory all these years?
You know your Aunt Martha has a knack for mixing things. You eat enough of her Piccadilly.
Well, dear, for every gallon of elderberry wine, I take a teaspoonful of arsenic, half a teaspoonful of strychnine, and just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Yes, in fact, one of our gentlemen had the time to say, how delicious.
Well, I must be getting started in the kitchen.
Oh, I wish you could stay for dinner.
I'm trying out a new recipe.
Couldn't eat a thing.
I'll come and help you, dear. Oh, you have to wait for Elaine now, don't you? How happy you must be. I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
Oh, it's you.
Don't be cross, darling. Father could see that I was excited, so it made it hard for me to get away. But listen, darling, he's not waiting up for me tonight.
Elaine, you run along home. I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Well, you know I always call you every day or two.
But we're supposed to go to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Look, darling, something's come up.
Darling, you've lost your job?
No, Elaine, I haven't lost my job. I'm not covering the show tonight. So you run along home.
But I've got to know what happened. Certainly you can tell me.
No, I can't.
But if we're going to be married...
Married?
Have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Oh, well, as far as I know, that's still going on. So you can run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow.
You can't just propose to me 1 minute and then throw me out of the house next.
No, darling, I'm not throwing you out of the house. Now, will you please get out of here?
No, I will not get out of here. Not until I've had some kind of an explanation.
Elaine! Hello? Look, Al, all right, it's important, but it can hold, can't it? Look, just hold on 1 minute. Look, Elaine, you're a sweet girl and I love you, but I have something on my mind right now, and I want you to go home and wait until I can think about it.
Don't try to be masterful.
Look, when we're married and I have problems to face, I hope I find you less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! No, Elaine! Hello, Al.
That's the doorbell, dear, not the telephone. How do you do? Come in.
I understand that you have a room to rent.
Oh, yes. Won't you step in?
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name's Gibbs.
Why don't you sit down? I'm sorry, we're just setting the table for dinner.
Hello? Well, let me talk to City Desk. No, Al! Sorry, wrong number.
May I see the room?
Oh, why don't you sit down? Let's get acquainted.
They won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
I haven't got home, even a hotel, I don't like it.
Hello? Yes, City Desk.
Are your family Brooklyn people?
I haven't got any family.
All alone in the world?
Yep.
Well, Martha. Well, you've come to just the right house. Do sit down.
Hello? Yes, Al, it's Mort. I'm sorry, we got cut off, but... No, look, Al, you gotta get George to cover the show. I can't make it, that's all there is to it.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
A Presbyterian used to be.
Well, what's George doing in Bermuda? Well, certainly I told him he could go to Bermuda. This is my department, isn't it? Well, look, Al, you gotta get hold of somebody. Can't you find anybody around the place?
Is there always this much noise?
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
No, Al, what about one of the office boys? Yeah, the bright one. No, the one that we don't like. Yeah, you look around, I'll hold on.
I really like to see the room.
It's upstairs. Won't you have a glass of our wine before we start up?
Never touched it.
Oh, we make it ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine? I haven't had elderberry wine since I was a boy. Thank you.
No, Al, no. There has to be some... Oh, what about one of the printers? Yeah, the fellow who sets my copy. He ought to know about what I write. Well, no, his name is Joe. He's a third printer from the left. Oh, Al, he could turn out to be another Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
Oh, no, but the cemetery is full of them.
No, I'm not drinking, but I'm gonna start now.
Do you serve meals?
We might, but first see whether you like our wine.
Oh, Mortimer,
Mortimer, not that.
Ah! No. What do you have, a death wish? Get out! No, grab your thing. Go! Get out!
Now you've spoiled everything.
Look, you can't go doing things like that. I don't know how else to explain it to you. It's not only against the law, it's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. Yeah, people would not understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we should not have told Mortimer.
Look, what I'm trying to say is, this has developed into a very bad habit.
We don't try and stop you from doing things you like to do. I don't see why you should interfere with us.
Hello? Yes, I'll see the first act and I'll pan the heck out of it. No, but Al, I need you to do something for me. Yeah, you know O'Brien? The lawyer, yes, the head of our legal committee. Have him meet me at the theater. Okay? I'm counting on you, Al. Now, don't let me down. Okay, I'll start now. Look, I have to go to the theater tonight. I can't get out of it, but before I go, I need you to promise me something.
Well, we'd have to know what it is first.
Look, I know I love you very much, and I know you love me. I would do anything in the world for you, and I'm asking you to do this one little thing.
Well, what do you want us to do?
Don't do anything. I mean don't do anything. Don't let anyone in this house, and you leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is.
Why?
Well, I need time to think, all right? And I've got quite a little to think about. You know I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you.
What on earth could happen to us?
Look, you'll do this for me, won't you?
Well, we're planning on holding services before dinner.
Services?
Certainly. You don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? Well, he was a Methodist.
Well, but can't that wait until after I get back?
Oh, then you could join us.
Yes! Yes!
Oh, Mortimer, you're really services, especially the hymns. Oh, remember, Martha, how beautifully Mortimer used to sing before his voice changed?
Now remember, you're not going to let anyone in this house. It's a promise.
Well, Martha, now that Mortimer's cooperating. Well, all right, Mortimer.
All right. Oh, do you have any paper? I'll be back as soon as I can. There's just a man I have to see.
Yes. Here's some stationery. Will this do?
Yes, that'll be fine. I can save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
No, Mortimer didn't seem like quite himself today.
Well, that's only natural. I think I know why.
Why?
Well, he's just gotten engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man nervous.
Well, I'm so happy for Elaine, and hopefully their honeymoon will give Mortimer a real vacation. He didn't seem to get quite enough rest this summer.
Well, at least he didn't go kiting off to China or Spain.
Oh, I don't understand why anyone would want to go to those places.
Well, I think to Mortimer, the theater's pretty small potatoes. You need something big to criticize, something like the human race.
Oh, Abby, if Mortimer's going to join us for the services, we'll need another hymnal. I think there's one in my room.
You know, Martha, it really is my turn to read the services, but since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins first came, I want you to do it.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you, dear, but are you sure you want me to?
It's only fair.
Well, I'll wear my black bombazine and mother's old brooch.
I'll go, dear.
Oh, we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anyone in.
Well, who do you suppose it is?
Wait a minute, I'll look. Oh, it's two men. I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
Well, there's a car parked outside by the curb. I think they came in that.
Let me look.
Do you recognize them?
They're strangers to me.
Well, we're just gonna have to pretend we're not home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now I'm glad to escape back into it.
That's a fine hideout, Johnny.
The family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Oh, yeah. I'm hungry, Johnny. Oh, look. Drinks.
As though we were expected.
Yeah.
A good omen.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Why? Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, it's Jonathan.
You get out of here.
But I'm Jonathan. Your nephew, Jonathan.
No, you're not, so don't pretend you are. You just get out of here.
Oh, but I am Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
He's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? You're not our nephew, Jonathan.
I see you're still wearing the lovely garnet ring that Grandma Brewster bought in England. You, Aunt Martha, still the high collar to hide the scar where grandfather's acid burned you.
Well, his voice sounds like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
No, my face. Dr. Einstein is responsible for that. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
Oh, but I've seen that face before. Remember, Abby, when we took the little Schultz boy to the movies and I was so frightened? It was that face.
Easy, Johnny, easy. Don't worry, ladies. The last 5 years, I've given Johnny 3 new faces. I give him another one right away. In his last face. Well, I saw that movie too, just before I operate. And I was intoxicated.
You see, Doctor, you see what you've done to me, even by these facts.
Johnny, your home is this beautiful house. Look at this. How often he talks about Brooklyn, about the aunts he loves so much. You know it's them, Johnny. You know it's Jonathan. Speak to him. Tell him so.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. What have you been doing all these years?
Yes, Jonathan, where have you been?
Oh, England, South Africa, Australia. The last 5 years, Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in a business there together.
Oh, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes, we found Chicago to be awfully warm.
Yes, it got hot for us too.
Well, it's wonderful to be in Brooklyn again. You, Abby, Martha, why you don't look a day older, just as I remembered you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And dear Teddy, did he get into politics? My My little brother, Doctor, was just determined to become president.
Oh, Teddy's fine, just fine. And Mortimer's well, too.
Yes, I know all about Mortimer. I've seen his picture at the head of his column. He's evidently fulfilled all the promise of his early nasty nature.
Oh, we're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it was nice seeing you.
Bless you, Aunt Mom.
Well, Martha, we shouldn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Yes, if you'll excuse us, Jonathan. Unless you're in a hurry to be somewhere.
Johnny, what do we do now? We've got to think fast. The police have pictures of that face. I've got to operate on them right away. I've got to find a place for that. I've got to find a place for Mr. Spinalzo.
Don't waste any worry on that rat.
Johnny, we have a hot stiff on our hands.
Forget Mr. Spinalzo.
You can't keep a dead body in the under seat. You shouldn't have killed him. He was a nice fellow. He gave us a lift. And then what happens?
He said I looked like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did that to me.
I'll fix you up quick.
Tonight.
Yes, Johnny, but I have to eat. I'm hungry and weak, Johnny.
We're happy you came back and took the trouble to come in and say hello, but you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy while you were in it. So we just come in to say goodbye.
Aunt Abby, I can't see your feelings towards me comes as a surprise. I've spent a great many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have given you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
Yes, but my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. You see, I promised him that no matter how rushed we were in passing through Brooklyn, that I'd take the time to bring him here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Oh, well.
Well, I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough.
Abby, it's a pretty good-sized pot roast.
Pot roast?
I think it's the least we could do.
Thank you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
Well, hurry it along then.
Yes.
Oh, and Jonathan, if you want to be freshened up, why don't you use the washroom in Grandfather's old laboratory?
Is that still there?
Oh, yes, just as he left it. Well, I'll go help Martha start things up since we're all in a hurry.
We get a meal anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory. And just as it was, Doctor, a perfect operating room.
Too bad we can't use it.
After you're finished with me, why, we can make a fortune here. The laboratory, that large ward in the attic. 10 beds, Doctor, and Brooklyn is just crying for your talents.
Why woke yourself up, Johnny? Anyway, we are a year too late for Brooklyn.
You don't know this town like I do, Doctor.
No.
Practically everybody in Brooklyn needs a new face.
All the old faces are locked up, Johnny.
A very small percentage, and the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to keep out of jail.
Easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after that...
Leave it to me, Doctor. Why, this place will be our headquarters for years.
That would be beautiful. This lovely home. Those aunts, I love them already. I cook it off scenes.
Doctor, you must wait until we are invited. We'll be invited.
And if they say no...
Doctor, two helpless old ladies.
It's like comes true, a beautiful dream. Only I hope it's not a dream. So peaceful.
That's what makes this house so perfect for us, Doctor. That's so peaceful.
Oh.
Yes, aunties, those 5 years in Chicago were amongst the busiest and happiest of my life.
Yeah, and after Chicago, we go to South Bend, Indiana.
They wouldn't be interested in an experience in Indiana.
Well, Jonathan, you've led a very interesting life, I'm sure, but we shouldn't have let you talk this late.
Well, my meeting Dr. Einstein in London, I might say, changed the whole course of my life. You remember I had been in South Africa in the diamond business, then Amsterdam, the diamond market. I wanted to get back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made that possible.
Yeah, that's a good job, Johnny. When we unwrapped the bandages, I didn't even recognize him. A nurse had to introduce us.
I love that face. I still carry the picture with me.
Oh, well, this looks more the way you used to look, but I still wouldn't know you.
I think we'll go back to that face, Doctor.
Yeah, it's safe now.
Well, I'm sure you both want to get to where you're going.
Oh, my dear aunts, I'm so full of that delicious dinner. I'm just unable to move a muscle.
It's so nice here.
Well, after all, it's very late.
I found it!
What did you find, Teddy?
The story of my life, my biography. Here's the picture I was telling you about, General. Here we are, the both of us. President Roosevelt and General Gold at Clay Cut. That's me, General, and that's you.
My, how I've changed.
Well, you see, that picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started work on Clay Cut. We're still digging the locks. And now, General, we will both go to Panama and inspect the new lock.
No, Teddy, not to Panama.
Yeah, Panama's a long way off. We go another time.
Nonsense, it's just down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Oh, we let him dig the Panama Canal in the cellar.
General Goldlos, as President of the United States, Chief and Commander of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand that you accompany me on the inspection of the new lock.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson. But your face is familiar. Let's see. You're not familiar now. No, now. Perhaps later. On my hunting trip to Africa. Yes, you look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
This is your brother Jonathan, dear.
He's had his face changed.
Oh, so that's it. A nature faker.
And perhaps you had better go to bed, Teddy. Jonathan and his friend have to go to their hotel.
General Goldens, inspect the canal.
All right, Mr. President, we go to Panama.
Bully! Follow me, General. It's down south, you know.
Oh, well, bon voyage!
Aunt Anne, I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of a hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here, and so
well, there's this nice little hotel just 3 blocks down the street that
Aunt
you could...
Martha, this is my home.
But Jonathan, you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them?
Yes, for our lodgers.
Are there lodgers in this house?
Oh, not just now, but we plan to have some.
Then my old room is still free.
Oh, well, there's no room for Dr. Einstein.
He'll share the room with me.
No, Jonathan, I'm afraid you can't stay here.
Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. You remember this afternoon that as a boy I could be very disagreeable, and it wouldn't be pleasant for any of us if I hadn't.
Perhaps you should let him stay here for the night.
Well, just overnight, Jonathan.
That's it. Now if you'll get my room ready.
Oh, it only needs airing out.
Yes, we keep it ready to show our lodgers. I'm sure you and Dr. Einstein will find it comfortable.
Yes, you have a very distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein, and you know, I'm afraid that you two don't appreciate his skills, but you will. In a few weeks, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
Oh, we can't operate on you here.
When Dr. Einstein and I get organized, we resume practice. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're turning grandfather's laboratory into an operating room, and we expect to be quite busy.
Oh, well, Jonathan, I will not let you turn this house into a hospital.
A hospital? Heavens no, it will be a beauty parlor.
Charlie, when I go into the
Doctor, my dear aunts have invited us to live with them.
Oh, you fixed it.
Well, just for tonight.
Please get our room ready immediately.
Well, for tonight.
Charlie, when I go into the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal?
We just fits Mr. Spinalzo. It's a whole teddy dog, 6 feet long, 4 feet wide.
Down there?
It's like they were expecting us to bring him along. That's hospitality.
Rather a good joke on my aunts. They're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
But how do we get him in?
Yes. Well, we can't just walk him into the front door. We'll try the car up between the house and the cemetery. Then, once they've gone to bed, we'll bring Mr. Spinalzo in through the window.
Oh, bed. Just think, Johnny, we have a bed tonight.
Easy, Doctor. Remember, you're operating tomorrow, and this time you had better be sober.
I fix you up beautiful.
And if you don't...
Jonathan, your room is ready.
We're just moving the carp around the side of the house.
Oh, well, the car's all right where it is until morning.
I wouldn't want to leave it in the street. You see, that might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to let them stay for more than one night for one thing. What would the neighbors think? People coming in here with one face and going out with another.
What about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins. Can't be very comfortable for him in there. And he's been so patient, the poor dear. Well, we'll just have to get Teddy to bring him down to the cellar right away.
Abby, I would not invite Jonathan to the funeral services.
Oh, no, we'll wait until they've gone to bed and then hold the services.
General Wilkes was very pleased. He says the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this will come as a shock to the general.
Oh, then we mustn't tell him about it.
But it's his department.
No, Teddy, we mustn't tell him. It would just spoil his visit.
I'm sorry, it's out of my hands. He must be told. Army regulations, you know.
No, Teddy, we must keep it a secret.
Yes.
A state secret?
Yes, a state secret.
Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, how are we going to keep it a secret?
Well, Teddy, you go upstairs, and when I turn out the lights, when it's all dark, you go down and take the poor gentleman. Now, go along, Teddy.
And we'll come down later and hold services.
Where is the poor devil?
He's in the window seat.
Well, we've never had yellow fever there before. He must be spreading.
Martha, when Jonathan and Dr. Einstein come back, let's try to get them to go to bed right away.
Yes, and by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed and ready for the services. Abby, I've never even seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, that's right, you were out. Well, you just come right over and see. He's really very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist. Oh!
We're just bringing the luggage through here.
Jonathan, your room is ready. You can go right up.
I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours, but you two run along to bed, will you?
Oh, well, you two must be very tired, and we didn't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. It's time we came home to take care of you.
Oh, well, we were planning to go.
And Martha, did you hear me say go to bed? The instruments can go to the laboratory in the morning.
All right.
Now that we're all going to bed.
I'll be right up and turn out the lights.
Run along, Aunt Martha. Hurry up, Doctor. All right, Aunt Abby.
I'll be right up.
Now, Aunt Abby, turn out those lights. I'll get the window open. Now you go around and you hand him through, okay?
No. He's too heavy for me. You go outside and push. I stay inside and pull. Then we both get him down to Panama.
All right, I'll go take a look outside around the side of the house. When I tap on that flash, I'd better open that window.
Oh. So bossy. Only tiny. See, what? Be some wine around here somewhere. Just a little nip before we begin our adventure. Could be around in here somewhere. And gracious! Don't cough to let this open. Toys, open. Johnny, is that you?
Yes.
All right, come on, let's go.
Go, Doctor.
I hope. That's it. There we go, got it over here. Now we go to the solid.
Be more careful.
Oh, hey, his shoe came off. Hey. I got him, Johnny. I got him. I don't have him. I think I have it. I don't have it. I have it. Oh, someone at the front door. You go! I manage here! You go around! Oh. image. All right. Das Palazzo. Get in. You have some perspective. You really for me. All right. I'm gonna find that.
Abby? Miss Martha? Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Hello? Who's there? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
Then what are you doing here?
I came over to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Turn on the lights, Doctor. You chose rather an untimely moment for a social call.
I think you better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day and I've never seen you before. Where's Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
Perhaps we'd better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein.
Dr. Einstein?
A surgeon of great distinction and something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me you're Boris Karloff.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
I see you've heard of me.
Yes, just this afternoon for the first time.
And what did they say about me?
Only that there's another brother named Jonathan, that's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll be running along back home. If you'll kindly unlock the door.
That explains everything? Just what did you mean by that? And why did you come here at this time of night?
I thought I saw someone prowling around the house. I suppose it was you.
You thought you saw someone prowling around the house?
Yes. Weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You thought you saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just someone walking around the house to the car.
What else did you see?
Just that, that's all. That's why I came over here. I wanted to tell Miss Abby to call the police, but if that was you and that's your car, I don't have to call Miss Abby. I'll be running along.
What was the man doing at the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over here.
I think you're lying.
Look, Johnny, I think she tells the truth. We let her go, okay?
Oh no, I think she's lying. Breaking into a house at this time of night, I think she's dangerous. She should be left around alone.
Stop me!
It's going to be a private funeral.
Teddy, man, who I am!
That's my daughter, Alice.
No, Teddy!
Priscilla!
What's happening down here?
We caught a burglar, a sneak thief. Now go back to your room.
We'll call the police.
We have called the police and we will handle this. Now go back to your room. Do you hear me?
Mortimer, where have you been?
To the North Base Theater, and I should have known better. My God, I'm still there.
This is your brother Jonathan, dear, and this is Dr. Einstein.
Okay, I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it?
I've come back home, Mortimer.
And who did you say this was?
This is your brother Jonathan, dear. He's had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Jonathan? Jonathan, you always were a nightmare, but did you have to look like one?
My dear Mortimer, have you forgotten the things I used to do to you when we were boys? Remember the time you were tied to the bedpost and the needles underneath your fingernails?
My God, it is Jonathan. Of course I remember. You were the most vile, venomous, detestable form of animal life I ever knew.
Now you two boys don't start quarreling the minute you see each other.
There won't be any fight, Aunt Abby. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
Oh, but Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Well, for tonight.
No, I don't want them anywhere near me.
Well, we did say they could stay for tonight, and it wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
All right, for tonight, but first thing in the morning, I want them out. Where are they sleeping?
Jonathan's old room.
That's my old room. I'm sleeping there. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
Oh, Johnny, we sleep down here tonight.
You bet your life you sleep down here.
You sleep on the sofa. I sleep on the window seat.
The window seat? Oh, no, there's no reason to argue about that. No, the window seat's just fine for me. I'll sleep on the window seat.
You know, all this argument makes me think of Mr. Spinozzo.
Spinozzo? Well, Now, Mortimer, really isn't necessary to inconvenience you like this. We will just sleep down here
Jonathan,
tonight.
your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
All right, come on, Johnny, let's get those things out.
Don't bother, Doctor.
By the way, Doctor, I've completely lost track of Mr. Spinoza.
All right, now, who's this Mr. Spinoza?
It's a friend Mr. Johnny's bringing along.
Don't bring anyone else in here.
All right, while we pack, I'll tell you all about it.
Jonathan, Mortimer, you don't have to stay down here. Martha and I can go in and you can take my room.
Oh, no trouble at all, Aunt Tabby. We'll be packed in just a few minutes, and then you can have the room, Mortimer.
I told you you're just wasting your time. I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer!
What's the matter with you, dear?
I've almost been killed!
You've almost... Abby! Martha!
No, it was Jonathan.
Oh, you mistook her for a sneak thief.
No, it's more than that. He's some sort of maniac! Mortimer, I'm afraid of him.
Darling, you're trembling. Here, do you have any smelling salts or something?
Do you think some hot tea or coffee could
Oh,
help?
coffee, please. And some sandwiches? I haven't had any dinner.
We'll make some for the both of you, dear.
Well, Martha, we can leave our things down here for now.
Well, were you two going somewhere? Do you know what time it is? It's after 12. 12. Oh, Elaine, you have to get out of here.
What?
Well, you wanted some sandwiches. I won't be a minute.
Why, you wanted to celebrate your engagement, remember? Well, that's just what we'll do, dear. We'll make a nice supper for both of you. And I'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. Wait! No wine!
Mortimer, what's going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
You were supposed to take me to dinner in the theater tonight. You called it off. You asked me to marry you. I said I would. And then 15 minutes later, you tried to trace me home. Tonight, after your brother tried to strangle me, you want to throw me out? Now listen here, Mr. Brewster. Before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
Yes, I love you very much, Elaine. And in fact, I love you so much, I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
I don't think so, but it's just a matter of time. Well, you see, insanity runs in my family, dear. It practically gallops. That's why I can't marry you, dear.
Now you've got to do better than that.
Dear, there's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. If you knew my family, it's what you'd expect if Strindberg had written Hell's a Poppin'.
Now just because Teddy is a little...
No, dear, it's the entire family. If you go way back, the first Brewster, the one who came over on the Mayflower. You know, back in those days, the settlers used to scalp the Indians. He used to scalp the settlers.
Mortimer, that's ancient history.
No, dear, it's the entire family. My grandfather, he tried his patent medicines out on dead people to be sure he wouldn't kill anybody.
Well, he wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And then Jonathan, you just said he was a maniac. He tried to kill you.
Yes, but he's your brother, not you. I am in love with you.
And then there's Teddy, dear. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. Oh dear, no Brewster should marry. I realize now if I'd met my father in time, I'd have stopped him too.
No, Mortimer, this doesn't explain how you're crazy. Take a look at your aunts. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And they're the kindest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Even my aunts have their peculiarities.
Oh, but lovely peculiarities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one?
Oh, Mortimer, of course there are others. You can't say anything about your aunt.
No, I'm not going to. Look, Elaine, you need to go home. Something very important has just come up.
From where? We're here alone together.
Look, I know I'm acting irrationally, but just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad Brewster.
If you think you're getting out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Maybe you're not going to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, dope.
Look, if you love me, you'll get out of here.
Well, at least take me home, won't you? I'm afraid.
Afraid of a little walk through the cemetery? No.
Mortimer, won't you kiss me goodnight?
Of course, dear. Good night, dear. I'll call you up in a day or two.
You critic!
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here.
We'll be in a minute, dear.
No, come in here right now.
Yes, dear. What is it? Where's Elaine?
I thought you promised me not to let anyone in this house while I was gone.
Well, Jonathan just
No, I don't
walked
mean
in.
Jonathan.
Dr. Einstein.
And I don't mean Dr. Einstein. No, who is that in the window
He
seat?
told you, Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, that is not Mr. Hoskins.
Well, who can that be?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen this man before?
I certainly am. Why, this is a fine how do you do. It's just getting so anyone thinks they can walk into this house.
And Abby, no, don't you try to get out of this. That is another one of your gentlemen.
Why, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, that man's an imposter, and if he thinks he's going to be buried in our cellar, he's mistaken.
Now, Aunt Abby, you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
Yes, I did.
Well, this man couldn't have just got the idea from Mr. Hoskins, now could he? Oh, by the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
He must have gone to Panama.
Oh, you did bury him.
Oh, not yet. Not with Jonathan in the house. We haven't had a minute. Oh, we've always wanted to hold a double funeral. But I will not hold services over a total stranger.
A stranger? Now, Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 gentlemen in your cellar, and you admit you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But I would not stoop to telling a fib. Martha!
Oh, Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you.
Oh, well, word's all you're about to have time for, Jonathan, because I've decided that you and your doctor friend are going to get out of this house as quickly as possible.
I'm glad you recognize the fact that you and I can't live under the same roof, but you've arrived at the wrong solution. Take your suitcase and get
Jonathan, you're beginning to bore me. You've played your one-night stand in Brooklyn. Move on!
Oh, my dear Mortimer, just because you graduated from the back fence of the typewriter, don't think you've grown up. I'm staying and you're leaving, and I mean now.
If you think that I can be frightened, if you think there's anything that I fear,
I live a strange life, Mortimer, but it has taught me one thing: to be afraid of nothing.
Martha, just look and see what's in that window seat.
Now, Aunt Abby. Jonathan, let Aunt Martha see what's in the window seat. Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology, and I have some very good news. Yes, Jonathan is leaving. He's taking Dr. Einstein and his cold companion with him. Look, Jonathan, you're still my brother, and you're a Brewster. I'm going to give you a chance to get away and take the evidence with you. You can't ask for more than that. Very well, then I'm going to have to call the police.
Don't reach for that telephone. Are you still giving me orders after seeing what's happened to Mr. Spinoza?
Spinoza?
I knew he was a foreigner.
Remember what happened to Spinoza can happen to you too.
Hello, Miss Abby.
Oh, Officer O'Hara, what can we do for you?
Well, I saw your lights were on and thought there might be sickness in the house, but it looks like you have company. Sorry I disturbed you.
No, come in.
Oh, yes, come in.
Come right in, Officer O'Hara. This is our nephew Mortimer.
Pleased to meet you.
And this is another nephew, Jonathan.
Oh, pleased to make your acquaintance. Well, it must be nice having your nephews visiting you. Are they going to be with you for a bit?
Oh, I'm staying. My brother Jonathan is just leaving.
I've met you before, haven't I?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid not. Jonathan hasn't been home for years.
Oh, but your face looks so familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewhere?
I don't think so.
Oh, yes, Jonathan, you'd better hurry. Your things are all packed anyway, aren't they?
Well, we wanted to say goodbye.
No. What's your rush, O'Hara? My brother's just going.
Well, I just dropped in to make sure everything was all right.
No, please, we're just about to have some coffee. Please, come sit down.
Oh, I forgot the coffee.
Oh, and I better make some more sandwiches. I have another appetite by this time, Officer O'Hara.
Oh, don't bother. I'm due to ring in a few minutes.
No, you can have a cup of coffee with us. Come on, sit down.
Say, ain't I seen a photograph of your brother around here someplace?
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, he certainly reminds me of somebody.
Well, he looks like somebody you might see at the movies.
I never go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says the movies is a bad art.
Oh, yes, they are. Your mother said that?
Oh, yeah. My mother was an actress, a stage actress. You might have heard of her. Peaches the Tour?
It sounds like the name I might have heard on a program. What did she play?
Well, her biggest hit was Mutt and Jack. She played it for 3 years. I was born on tour, 3rd season.
You were?
Yep, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born in the dressing room at the end of the 2nd act, and Mother still made the finale.
Oh, what a trooper. I'm sure there's a very good story in your mother. You know I write about the theater.
You do? Say, you're not Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic.
Yes.
Well, I certainly am glad to meet you, Mr. Brewster. You and I are in the same line of business, you know.
Woo. We are?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. This being on the police force is just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years. I've been collecting material for a play.
Oh, I'll bet it's just a honey.
Well, it ought to be with all the drama I see being a cop. You have no idea what goes on in Brooklyn, Mr. Brewster.
You know, I think I have.
Say, what time you got?
Oh, 10 after 1.
Oh, gee, I gotta ring in.
No, O'Hara, no, that play of yours. I may be able to help.
You would? Well, gee, I knew it was my fate walking in here tonight. Look, I'll tell you the plot.
Oh, you're going now, are you? Good. You haven't got much time, you know.
Well, everything's just about ready. Oh, you're leaving now, Jonathan. Goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Oh, doesn't this case belong to you?
Yes? Yes, Jonathan, you know you can't leave without all of your things. Now, look, O'Hara, it's wonderful meeting you, and good luck on that play.
I'm not leaving yet, Mr. Brewster.
Why not?
Well, you just stopped to help me with my play. You and I are going to write my play together.
Oh, no, I can't do that, O'Hara. I'm not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating, you just put the words to it.
No, but O'Hara...
No, sir, Mr. Brewster, I'm not leaving this house until I tell you the plot.
Well, in that case, we'll just be running along.
Neil, don't you try that. You can't leave without all of your things, you know? Now, look, O'Hara, my brother's just...
I've been waiting 12 years.
O'Hara was so long.
Ah, don't bring that in here. O'Hara, won't you join us for a bite in the kitchen?
The kitchen?
Jonathan's leaving.
Oh, well, that's nice. Come along, Officer O'Hara.
You sure you're all right with eating in the kitchen, O'Hara?
Where else would you?
Oh, well, goodbye, Jonathan. It was nice to have seen you again.
I'm glad you came back to Brooklyn, Jonathan. It gives me a chance to throw you out. And the first one to go here is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinalzo.
Mr. Brewster, we can talk in here.
Coming right up.
I might have known you'd grow up to write a play with the policeman.
Yo, get going now, all three of you.
Doctor, this affair between me and my brother has got to be settled.
Johnny, we've got trouble enough. Your brother gives us perfect chance to get away. Let's get going.
You don't understand. This goes back a good many years.
Johnny, let's get going.
We're not going. We're staying here.
The carp in the kitchen. And Mr. Spinalzo in the window seat.
That's all he's got us. We'll take Spinalzo down and dump him in the bay and come right back here. And then, if he tries to interfere...
Johnny!
Doctor, you know when I've made up my mind.
Just when you make up your mind, root your head. Brooklyn needs a good place for you.
Doctor!
Right, we stick together. Someday we get stuck together. Since we're not leaving, do we take the bags? What do we do?
No, leave them here, hide them in the cellar, and move fast. Spinalzo can go out the same way he came in.
Johnny!
What?
You know that hole in the cellar?
Yes?
We have an ace in the hole. Come on, I'll show you.
Jonathan! Jonathan! Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
What are you two doing here? I thought I told you to get going.
We're not going.
Oh, you're not. Hey, you don't think this is some kind of game? You want O'Hara to know what's in this window seat?
We're staying here.
All right, you asked for it. This gets me rid of you and Officer O'Hara at the same time. Officer O'Hara, won't you come in here?
If you tell O'Hara what's in the window seat, I'll tell him about what's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Yes, there's an elderly gentleman down there who appears to be very dead.
Now, what were you doing down in the cellar?
What's he doing in the cellar?
No, thanks, ma'am. They were fine. I've had plenty.
Now, what were you going to say to O'Hara?
Look, Mr. Brewster, I'm going to hear it too. Should I get
No, O'Hara, no. Well, we not in front of all these people, please.
We gotta meet somewhere. What about the back room at Kelly's?
Oh, that's fine, just fine. We'll go to the back room at Kelly's, yes. And you
Why
can bring in on
didn't
the
you
way.
go down in the cellar?
Oh, that's right. Is this the cellar?
No, O'Hara, no. We can go bring in on the way and meet at the back room at Kelly's.
Fine, but that'll only take a couple of minutes.
I'll ditch that guy and be back here in 5 minutes. Now, when I come back, I expect all three of you to be gone. Wait for me.
We'll wait for him, Doctor. I've waited a good many years for a chance like this.
We got him right when we want him. Did he look guilty?
Yes, take the bags back up to our room.
All right.
Have they gone? Oh, I thought I heard somebody leave.
Just Mortimer, and he'll be back in a few minutes. Is there any food left in the kitchen? I think Dr. Einstein and I would enjoy a bite.
Oh, but you won't have time.
No, if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, he'll like it. He's gotta like it.
Get some food for us while we bury Spinalzo down in the cellar.
Oh, no.
No, Jonathan, you have to take him with you.
Look, there's a friend of Mortimer's downstairs waiting for him.
A friend of Mortimer's?
Yes, he and Mr. Spinalzo will get along fine together. You see, they're both dead.
Oh, they must be Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You mean you two know about what's down in the cellar?
Well, of course we do, but he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
Oh, gentlemen.
And we will not have any strangers buried in our cellar.
Yes, but Mr. Hoskins is
Mr. Hoskins is not a stranger.
And besides, the cellar's crowded already.
Crowded? What?
Well, there are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
Yes, and that leaves very little room, and we're going to need.
You mean you and Aunt Martha Have murdered?
Murder? Certainly not. Why, it's one of our charities.
What we're doing is a mercy.
So you just take your Mr. Spinazzo and get out of here.
You've done that in this house and you buried them down there.
Johnny, we get chased all over the world. They stay right here in Brooklyn and hate you just as good as you.
What?
Oh, they had 12 and you have 12.
I've got 13.
Hey, no, Johnny, you have 12.
13? There's Mr. Spinazzo. There's the first one in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 2 in San Francisco, the 1 in Phoenix.
Phoenix?
The filling station. The 3 in Chicago, and the 1 in South Bend. That makes 13.
You can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
Yes, well, he wouldn't have gotten pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
Oh, Johnny, it doesn't count because he died of pneumonia.
He counts with me, so I say 13.
Johnny, they have 12 and you have 12.
Oh, they do.
They do just as good as you.
Oh, they do they? That's easily taken care of, Doctor. You see, all I need is 1 more. That's all. Just 1 more. Here I am.
You stop doing that. This is our house and this is our cellar. You can't do that.
Ladies, go upstairs where you belong.
Abby, Martha, go upstairs.
Oh, there's no use in doing what you're doing because it would just have to be undone.
I tell you, you better stop it right now.
All right, you'll find out. You'll find out whose house this is.
I tell you, you better stop it. Where do you think Mortimer went?
Oh, I don't know, but he must be somewhere because he told Jonathan, you stay here and I'll settle
And
this.
that's all we want settled. What's going on down there?
All right, now where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
I've been over to Dr. Gilchrist. I got his signature on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this?
Do you know what Jonathan is
He's
doing?
bringing Mr. Spinazzo and Mr. Hoskins in together.
Oh, he is he? Well, let him. Is Teddy up in his room?
Teddy won't be any help.
Once he signs these commitment papers, I can tackle Jonathan.
What have they got to do with it?
Well, you had to go and tell Jonathan about those 12 graves. If I could make Teddy responsible, I could protect you, don't you see?
No, I don't see. And we pay taxes to have the police protect us.
Wait, look, I'm going up to see Teddy. I'll be right back.
Come along, Martha. We're going for the police.
All right. The police? No. You can't go for the police.
Oh, why can't we?
If you tell them about Mr. Spinazzo, they find out about Mr. Hoskins. That might make them curious about the other 12 gentlemen in your cellar.
Oh, Mortimer, we know the police better than you do. I don't think they'd pry into our private affairs if we asked them not to.
If they found 12 gentlemen in your cellar, they'd have to report to headquarters.
Oh, I'm not so sure they'd bother. They'd have to make a very long report, and if there's one thing policemen hate to do, it's to write.
You can't count on that. It might leak out, and you wouldn't expect a judge or a jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would.
Oh, yes, we know him very well.
Yes, he comes to church to pray before election.
And he promised to come to tea one day.
Abby, we must speak to him about that. You know, his wife died a few years ago and it's left him very lonely.
Come along, Martha.
No. You can't leave this house. No, I won't let you. You cannot send for the police, and you cannot have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you're not going to do anything about Mr. Spinazzo, we are.
No, I am going to do something. We may need to call the police in later, but when we do, I want to be ready for it.
You have got to get Jonathan out of this
And
house.
Mr. Spinazzo, too.
Will you please just let me do this my own way? I'm going up to see Teddy.
If they're not out of this house by morning, Mortimer, we're going to call the police.
Oh, they'll be out. I can promise you that. Now, go to bed. And for goodness sake, change out of those clothes.
Well, that's a relief, isn't it, Abby?
Yes, if Mortimer's going to do something at last, it just means Jonathan's going through a lot of unnecessary trouble. We'd better tell him. Oh, Jonathan, you might as well stop what you're doing.
It's all finished. Did I hear Mortimer?
Well, it's just going to have to be undone. Mortimer said you'll be out of this house by morning. He promised.
Oh, we are? Well, in that case, you and Aunt Martha can go to bed and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Yes, come, Abby.
Good night, aunties.
No, not good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. By the time you wake up, you'll be out of this house. Mortimer's promised.
Oh, but he's awake doing it, too.
Then Mortimer is back.
Yes, he's upstairs talking to Teddy.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Perhaps you'd better say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see Mortimer.
Yes, I'll see Mortimer.
That's all cleaned up. Smooth like a lake. Don't ever know he was down there, huh? That bed feels better already. 48 hours we haven't slept. That's corpse death.
You're forgetting, Doctor.
What?
My brother, Mortimer.
Oh, Johnny, we'll do that some other time. We'll do it tomorrow or the next day.
No, tonight, now.
See, no, I have to operate tomorrow. I'll get tired.
Yes, you're operating tomorrow, Doctor, but tonight we take care of Mortimer.
Please, let's go upstairs.
Doctor, look at me. You can see it's going to be done, can't you?
I can see. I know that look.
It's a little too late for us to dissolve our partnership.
Yes, we do it, though. We do it the quick way. A quick twist like in London.
No, Doctor. I think this calls for something special. I was thinking perhaps the Melbourne method.
No, Johnny, the Melbourne method. 2 hours? And the fellow in London was just as dead as the fellow in Melbourne.
Yes, but we had to work too fast in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction in it, but Melbourne, that was something to remember.
Remember? I wish I didn't. No! No, Johnny, not Melbourne, not me.
Yes, Doctor. Where are your instruments?
I won't do it.
Get your instruments.
I won't do it, Johnny.
You hid them. Where? In the cellar. Yes, I'll find them, Doctor.
No.
Don't do that, Mr. President.
But I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But this must be a secret.
A secret proclamation? How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Japan, those devils. I'll sign it right away. I can let the cabinet know later.
Yes, let's go sign it.
You wait here. A secret proclamation must be signed in secret.
But at once, Mr. President.
I'll put on my signing clothes.
You go now, huh?
No, Doctor, I'm waiting for something important.
Yes, but you go now, please.
Look, Doctor, you seem to be a nice fellow, and I have nothing against you personally, so take my advice and get out of here.
Yeah? You get out?
All right, don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you. Get away.
Things are going to start popping around here any minute.
Say, Johnny's in a bad mood. When he gets like this, he does things. Terrible things.
Jonathan, it doesn't worry me.
No! Sniggin'. Don't those plays you see teach you anything?
About what?
Well, at least the people in those plays act like they have sense. It's more than you do.
Oh, you think so, do you? You think people in plays act intelligently? Oh, I wish you had to sit through some of the ones I've had to sit through. Take the little opus I saw tonight, for instance. There's a man. He's supposed to be bright. He's in a house with murderers. He ought to know he's in danger. He's even been warned to get out of the house, but does he leave? No! Now, Doctor, does that seem like the kind of thing an intelligent person would do?
Oh, you're asking me?
Well, he didn't even have enough sense to be frightened or to be on guard. For instance, the murderer invites him to sit down.
Oh, won't you sit down?
You know, believe it or not, that was in there too.
Oh, what did he do?
Well, he sat down. Now, mind you, this fella's supposed to be bright, and there he sits, just waiting to be trussed up and gagged. And what do you suppose they used to tie him with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Oh, of course. Good idea. Very convenient.
Yeah, just a little too convenient, isn't it? Like, when are the playwrights going to start using some imagination? The curtain cord.
Did you see him get it?
See him? He sat there with his back to him, the big dope. That's what we have to go through night after night. They say it's the critics that are killing the theater, it's the playwrights that are killing the theater. So there he sits, this big dope, this fellow that's supposed to be bright, just waiting to be trussed up and gagged.
You're right about that fellow. He wasn't too bright, was he?
Now, Mortimer, if you don't mind, we'll finish the story. I've been away for 20 years, but never once in all that time, my dear brother, were you out of my mind. In Melbourne one night, I dreamed of you. In San Francisco, I felt a strange satisfaction. Once more, I was in the same country as you. Now, Doctor, get your instruments.
No, Johnny, prefer me the quick way.
Doctor! This really must be an artistic achievement, after all. We're performing before a very distinguished critic.
Johnny, please!
Doctor!
Let me get it over with.
All ready for you, Doctor.
I gotta have a drink. I can't do this without a drink. I gotta have a drink, Johnny. Remember, there was some wine here earlier this afternoon. Where did we put it? I need just a little bit to get me through this. Here's some. We'll split it. Now we both have some wine. There we are.
One moment, Doctor. Please, where are your manners? Yes, Mortimer, I realize now it was you who brought me back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear, dead brother. Oh, that idiot! He goes next. That's all. He goes next.
No, not Teddy. That's where I stopped. Not Teddy.
We get to Teddy later.
No, we don't get to him at all.
Now we've got to work fast, Doctor. Yes, Doctor, the quick way.
Hey! The Colonel's gotta quit blowing that horn.
It's all right, officer. We're taking it away from him.
No, there's gonna be hell to pay in the morning. We promised the neighbors you wouldn't do that anymore.
It won't happen again, officer. Now, good night.
Good night. Oh, I better speak to him myself. Where are the lights? Ah. Hey! You stood me up. I waited an hour at Kelly's for you. What happened to him?
He was just telling us about what happened in the play tonight. This has happened to the fellow in the play tonight.
Did that really happen in the play you saw tonight? Well, gee, they practically stole that from the second act of my play. Or in the second act of my show, just before the... No. I better start at the beginning. It opens in my mother's dressing room where I was born. Only I ain't born yet. What? Oh, yeah. No, you gotta hear the plot first. She's sitting there making up, see, when all of a sudden, in through the door walks a man with a black mustache. He moves over to her, gets down on one knee, and says, "Mr. Tor, will you marry me?" But he doesn't know that she's pregnant. So I'm tied up in a chair just like you are. The place is on fire. It's an inferno of flames when all of a sudden, in through the window comes Mayor LaGuardia. Hey, go easy on that. Remember who paid for it.
Well, I'm listening, aren't I?
How do you like it so far?
They put Johnny to sleep.
If you ain't got no more interest in that, you don't get a drink. All right, it's 3 days later. I've been transferred and I'm under charges. That's because somebody stole my badge. So I'm walking my beat down Staten Island, 46th Precinct, when the guy I'm following, it turns out he's really following me. Don't let anybody in. So I figure I'll outsmart him. There's a vacant house on the corner. I goes in. I stand in the dark and I see the door handle turn.
Cops!
I pulls my guns, I brace myself up against the wall and I says, "Come in!" Oh, hello, boys.
What's going on in here?
Hey, Pat, what do you know? This is Mortimer and Brewster. He was helping me write my play. I was just telling him the plot.
Joe, you'd better report it at the station. The whole force is out looking for you.
Did they send you here for me?
We didn't know you was here.
We came to warn the old lady said there's hell to pay. The Colonel blew that vehicle again.
The way the neighbors have been calling in about it, the Germans dropped a bomb with glass shouting at
The lieutenant's on the warpath. He says the Colonel's got to be put away someplace.
Yes, yes!
Well, hey, Mr. Brewster, I gotta get away, so I'll run through the third act quick.
You stay away from me.
So you know what time it is. It's after 8 o'clock in the morning.
It is? Oh, gee, Mr. Brewster, those first two acts run a little long, but I don't see anything we can take out.
Take it all out.
Who is this guy?
Well, it's my brother.
Oh, the one that ran away? So he came back.
Yes, he came back.
This is Brophy. Get me Mac. We'd better let them know we found you, Joe. Mac, tell the lieutenant he can call off the big manhunt. We got him. In the Brewster house. Do you want us to bring him in? Okay, we'll hold him here. The lieutenant's on his way over.
So I've been turned in, eh? Well, all right, you come. And I suppose you and that stool pigeon brother of mine will split the reward? Now I'll do some turning in. You think my aunts are sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there are 13 bodies buried in that cellar.
What are you talking about?
You better be careful what you're saying about your aunts. They happen to be friends of ours.
13 bodies. I'll show you where they're buried.
Wait a minute.
I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. You come down to the cellar with me.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to see what's down there?
Go down in the cellar with him, Abe.
I'm not so showing you down on the sound with him. Look at that guy. He looks like Boris Karloff. What do you know about that?
Come in.
What are you men doing here. I told you I was going to handle this.
Well, see, we was just about
What happened? Did he put up a fight?
This ain't the guy that blows the bugle. This is his brother. He tried to kill Klein.
All I said was that he looked like Boris Karloff.
Turn him over.
You kind of think he's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think he's wanted somewhere? If you guys would look at the circulars we hang up in the station, at least you could read True Detective. Certainly he's wanted. In Indiana, escaped from the prison for the criminal insane. He's a lifer. For God's sake, that's how he was described. He looked like Karloff.
Was there a reward mentioned?
Yeah, and I'm claiming it.
He was trying to get us down in the cellar.
He said there were 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bodies buried in the cellar? And that didn't tip you off. He came out of a nut house.
Well, I thought all along he talked kind of crazy.
No, it's Shakespeare. Where have you been all night? And you needn't bother to tell me.
I've been right here, sir, writing my play with Mortimer Brewster.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're gonna have plenty of time to write that play. You're suspended. Now get back and report it.
Can I come over sometime and use the station typewriter?
No, you idiot. Get out of here. Take that guy somewhere else and bring him too. See what you can find out about his accomplice. The guy that helped him escape, he is wanted too. No wonder Brooklyn's in the shape it's in, with a police force full of flatheads like you. Falling for that kind of a story? 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
What is this?
That's the fellow that blows the bugle.
Good morning, Colonel.
Well, Colonel, you've blown your last bugle.
Dear me, another yellow fever victim.
What?
All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
No, Colonel, this is the spy we caught in the White House.
Will you get that guy out of here?
If there's any questioning of spies, that's my department.
You keep out of this.
You're forgetting, as President, also head of the Secret Service.
Captain, I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'd like to talk to you about my brother Teddy, the one who blows the bugle.
Mr. Brewster, we ain't gonna talk about that. He's gotta be put away.
No, I quite agree with you. In fact, it's all arranged for here. You see, I've had these papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist, our family physician. Teddy's committed himself, and I've signed his next of kin.
Where's he going?
Happydale.
All right, I don't care where he goes, as long as he goes.
All right, he's going, all right. I can promise you that. I want to let you know that everything that's happened around here, Teddy's responsible for. Now, those 13 bodies in the cellar.
Yeah, that's 13 bodies in the cellar. And ain't enough that the neighbors are all afraid of him, and he's disturbing the peace with that bugle. But can you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar got around, and now he's starting a yellow fever scare? Cute, ain't it?
13 bodies? Do you really think anybody would believe that kind of a story?
Well, you can't tell. Some people are just dumb enough. You don't know what to believe sometimes. About a year ago, a crazy guy starts a murder rumor over in Greenpoint, and I had to dig up a half-acre lot just to prove that.
So sorry, will you excuse me?
Good morning, Mortimer.
Good morning, dear.
This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's come to meet Teddy.
To meet Teddy?
Mr. Witherspoon is the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, yes, of course. Come in. This is Captain Rooney.
Lieutenant Rooney. I'm glad you're here, Super, because you're taking him back with you today.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Not today.
No, Elaine, I have a lot of business to take care of, so you run along home, okay?
Nice.
I had no idea it was this immediate.
The papers are all signed. He goes today.
Insubordination. You men will find out I'm no mollycoddle. When the President of the United States is treated that way, what's this country coming to?
There's your man, Super.
Just a minute. Mr. President, I have some very good news for you. Your term of office is over.
Is this March the 4th?
Well, practically.
Oh, now I go on my hunting trip to Africa. Well, I have to get started immediately. Is he trying to move into the White House before I've moved out?
Who, Teddy?
Taft.
Oh. No, Teddy, that's not Mr. Taft, that's Mr. Witherspoon. He's to be your guide in Africa.
Bully! I'll bring down my equipment. When the safari comes, tell them to wait. Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm on the way to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? Charge!
Good morning, darlings.
Oh, we have visitors.
Yes, this is Lieutenant Rooney.
Oh, Lieutenant. Why, you're not the fuss-budget policeman say you are.
Well, now, while the lieutenant is here, you know, Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Yes, we must speak to Teddy about that.
It's a little more serious than that, Miss Brewster.
And you haven't met Mr. Witherspoon. He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, how do you do?
Oh, you've come to meet Teddy.
He's come to take him.
Well, and now, aunties, the police want Teddy to go with them to Happydale tonight.
Oh, no.
Not while we're alive.
I'm sorry, Miss Brewster, but it has to be done. The papers are all signed and he is going along with the
We won't
superintendent.
permit it. We promise to take the bugle away from him.
We won't be separated from Teddy.
I'm sorry, ladies, but the law is the law. He's committed himself and he is going.
Well, if he goes, we're going too.
Yes, you'll have to take us with him.
Wait, well, why not?
Well, that's very sweet of them to want to, but it's impossible. You see, we can't take sane people at Happydale.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, if you let us live with Teddy, you'll see that Happydale is in our will, and for a very generous amount.
Well, the Lord knows we could use the money, but I'm afraid.
And now let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am wasting my morning when I've got some serious work to do. You know, there are still murders to be solved in Brooklyn.
Yes! Oh, there are? Oh, no.
It ain't only his bugle blowing and the neighbors all afraid of him, but things would just get worse. Sooner or later, we'd be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your nephew's been telling around that there are 13 bodies down there.
Oh, but there are 13 bodies in our cellar.
If that's why you think Teddy has to go away, then you come down to our cellar with us and we'll prove it to you.
There's one, Mr. Spinoza, who doesn't belong there and will have to leave behind, but the other 12 are our gentlemen.
Well, now, I really don't think the lieutenant wants to go down in the cellar. You know, he was telling me that only last year he had to dig up a half-acre lot. Isn't that right, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Oh, well, you wouldn't have to dig here. The graves are all marked with flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers. Superintendent, do you think you can find room for these ladies?
Well,
We'll just show you the graves. Come along.
I'll take your word for it, lady. I'm a busy man. How about it, Super?
well, they'd have to be committed.
But Teddy committed himself. Can't they commit themselves? Can't they sign the papers?
Why, certainly.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, if you let us live with Teddy, we'll find the papers now. Where are they?
Yes, where are they?
He's coming around, Lieutenant.
Ah, good morning, Klein.
Good morning, Clyde. Are you here too?
Yeah, me and Griffin get you out of the nephew in the kitchen. Well, sign him up, Superintendent. I want this all cleaned up. 13 bodies.
Okay.
You'll sign right here.
Yes, and you here, Aunt Abby?
I'm really looking forward to going. This neighborhood has changed so.
Just think. A front lawn again.
Oh, we're overlooking something.
What is it?
Well, we're going to need the signature of the doctor.
Oh, Dr. Einstein! Oh, please, won't you sign some papers for us?
But I was just about to...
No, please, you can sign some papers. Just right over here, doctor. You know, there was at one point last night I thought the doctor was going to be operating on me. Yeah, just sign right there, doctor.
Yes.
Were you leaving, Doctor?
I think I must be going.
But aren't you going to wait for Jonathan?
I don't think we're going to the same place.
It's very nice to see you. Will you stick around?
Don't worry, I'm going to.
Hello, Mac. Rooney. We picked up the guy who's wanted in Indiana. Now, there's a description of his accomplice. It's on the desk there. Read it to me. Yeah, about 54, 5'6", 140 pounds, blue eyes, talks with a German accent, and poses as a doctor. All right, thanks, Mac.
It's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor here has just completed the signature.
Well, thanks.
Mr. Brewster, if you sign right here as next of kin.
Yes, of course. Right here.
That's fine.
And this makes everything complete. And everything legal?
Oh, yes.
Well, Angie's, you're safe now.
When do you think you'll be ready to start?
Well, Mr. Witherspoon, why don't you go upstairs and tell Teddy what he can bring along?
Upstairs?
Yes, I'll show you.
No, Mortimer, we want to talk to you. Yes, just upstairs and turn to the left.
Well, Mortimer, now that we're moving, this house really is yours.
Yes, we want you to live here now.
Oh no, Aunties, this house is just so full of memories.
Oh, but you'll need a place to live when you and Elaine are married.
No, darlings, that's very indefinite.
It's nothing of the kind. We married right away.
Oh, Mortimer. Well, Mortimer, we're really very worried about something.
Oh, now darlings, you're going to love it at Happydale.
Yes, we're very happy about the whole thing. It's just that we don't want anything to go wrong.
Will they investigate those signatures?
Oh, no, dears, they're not going to look up Dr. Einstein.
It's not his signature, dear, it's yours.
You see, you signed as next of kin.
Yes, of course. Why not?
Well, dear, it's something we've never really wanted to tell you, but you're a man now, and we think Elaine should know too. You see, dear, you're not really a Brewster.
Your mother came to us as a cook, and you were born about 3 months afterwards, and her poor husband had just died, and we didn't want to lose her because she was such a sweet woman and such a good cook. So we adopted the baby and brought him up ourselves.
I'm not really a Brewster.
Don't feel badly about it, dear.
And Elaine, this won't make any difference to you.
Elaine, do you hear? Do you understand?
Well, I must be getting started on breakfast.
Oh, Mortimer's coming over to my house. Father's gone to Philadelphia, and Mortimer and I are going to have breakfast together.
Oh, yes, I need some coffee. I've had quite a night.
Oh, I think you'd want to get to bed then.
Yes, I do.
One moment, Witherspoon. Take this with you. We won't need the wagon. My car's out front.
Oh, are you leaving now, Jonathan?
Yeah, he is going back to Indiana. There's some people there who want to take care of him for the rest of his life. Come on.
Well, it's nice to know you have a place to go.
Yes, Jonathan, we're leaving too.
Yes, we're going to Happydale.
Then this house is seeing the last of the Brewsters.
Well, unless Mortimer wants to live here.
I have a suggestion to make. Why don't you two turn this property over to the church?
Oh, well, we never thought of that.
After all, it should be a part of the cemetery.
All right, keep going. I'm a busy man.
Goodbye, aunties. Well, I can't better my record now, but neither can you. At least I have that satisfaction. The score stands even, 12-12.
No, Jonathan always was a mean boy. Could never stand to see anyone get ahead of him.
I just wish we could prove he isn't so smart. Does your family live with you at Happydale?
No family.
So I suppose you consider everyone at Happydale your family.
I'm afraid you don't quite understand. You see, as head of the institution, I have to keep quite aloof.
Oh, that must make it very lonely for you.
It does, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha. Well, if Mr. Witherspoon can't stay for breakfast, I think we ought to offer him a glass of our elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine?
We make it ourselves.
Why, yes. Of course, our relationship at Happydale will be more formal, but here, you don't see much elderberry wine nowadays. I thought I'd have my last glass of it.
Oh, no.
No, here it is.